Good morning, guys. It's Mr. Fresh. It is Friday, March 20th, so it's the last e-learning day for this week. We'll have a new schedule starting next week. Hopefully you've taken a look at that calendar. I believe that we have e-learning days Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. So I have another book to read for you guys, but first I thought you probably haven't seen me wear a ball cap all that much. And not that you guys would really recognize this, but this is in fact a Notre Dame football hat. So yes, you might be thinking, well, Mr. Freshour, you like Michigan, you don't like Notre Dame. That is true. But this hat, when I worked at Notre Dame, I was able to purchase it, and this was a player, he was a running back for Notre Dame a couple years ago. And this is just a really comfortable hat, so I like to wear it, even though it's Notre Dame and not Michigan. So to kind of go along with the flip grid for today, you guys were comparing and contrasting basketball and football. So I wanted to read a book for some of my basketball fans out there that I'm going to be reading part of a story called Hoop Heroes. Hoop Heroes. So this book is about four really good basketball players from the past, Hardaway, Hill, Marbury, and Ewing. And so I'm going to be reading one of the chapters, but if you want to try to find this book sometime to read the rest of them, it's called Hoop Heroes, and it's by S.A. Kramer, illustrated by Ken Call. Hoop Heroes. So the chapter I'm going to be reading about is Patrick Ewing. So if you've ever heard of Patrick Ewing, he was a really good basketball player, super tall, and so his chapter is going to kind of talk about how he got into basketball and some of the hardships that he had to go through before he became this legendary player. All right, so his chapter is called Big Guy. Now, because this is kind of a chapter book, it doesn't have a whole lot of pictures, but it still has pictures, so I will try to show those pictures at different points while I read still, like I have been doing. So this is called Big Guy. Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1975. 13-year-old Patrick Ewing is puzzled. He's watching some boys play a very strange game. They keep trying to throw a big ball into a basket. Patrick's never seen anything like it before. Patrick's been in America only a short while. He used to live on a Caribbean island called Jamaica. Soccer was the big sport there, but Patrick wasn't very good at it. He's beginning to wonder if he can play this new game. Day after day, Patrick watches the boys shoot hoops in the playground. It looks easy enough. He knows his 6'1" height will give him an edge, but nobody asks him to join in. Then, one afternoon, the boys need an extra player. Suddenly, one of them spots Patrick and calls out, "Hey, do you want to play?" Patrick knows this is his chance. "Sure," he shouts. He's terrible at the new game. He can't shoot or dribble. He feels clumsy on the court. Later he says, "It was more difficult than I could have imagined." But basketball is fun anyway. He makes up his mind he's going to master it. Patrick practices hard. He learns how to move with the ball, play defense, and score. But a year later, he still can't dunk, even though he's grown to 6'6". Patrick doesn't give up. Slowly, he gets better and better. At 15, he's a tough defender who muscles his way to the basket. By 16, he's judged one of America's best high school players. Soon, his fierce scowl and 7-foot body also make him one of the most feared. Being so tall helps Patrick on the court, but off it, his height can be a problem. People stare at him. In school, mean kids call him a freak. That's not his worst problem at school. He's falling behind. He has trouble reading. To keep from failing, he studies with a tutor. So this is him trying to dunk the ball and not doing a great job at it. This is him and his tutor, because if you guys heard me read that, so he's a great basketball player, but he still has some struggles in school, and so he's working really hard to not fall behind, get his grades up, so that he can keep playing basketball. Other teams find out, and their fans call Patrick dumb. At games, they hold up signs saying Ewing can't read. Hollering that he's a monkey, they throw bananas on the court. The insults make Patrick play harder. As he speeds down the floor, he sometimes points at the scoreboard. Fans know why he does that. His team is almost always ahead. With Patrick at center, his high school has a 74-1 record and wins 3 state titles. But Patrick's basketball success doesn't make fans shut up. When he first placed for Georgetown University in 1981, the crowd flashed posters saying, "Ewing is an ape." Although he's now a good student, fans wear "Ewing can't read this" t-shirts and buttons. So there's the crowd taunting Patrick Ewing. And if you're able to see it, where's that? Here. So Ewing can't read this. So they're purposefully misspelling things to make fun of his intelligence. So this poor guy, even though he's this great basketball player, there's just so many fans that don't like him that are just cruel. And this is probably fans of the other teams, I think it said. They're trying to get under his skin by taunting him, saying these mean things, having posters, calling him an ape. Just terrible stuff. Opponents taunt Patrick too, as they fight him for the ball. At first, he loses his temper. He even throws an occasional punch. That means that he, every once in a while, decides to get physical in his aggression. He punches them. But soon, Patrick realizes he has to ignore the abuse. He's worked too hard at the game to let cruel insults get in his way. Playing tight defense, he becomes the toughest guy on the floor. His coach says Patrick is a warrior. At Georgetown, Patrick is a basketball hero. Named All-American 3 times, he's the 1985 Player of the Year. His hometown holds a Patrick Ewing Day and gives him a key to the city. All the teasing and taunting are behind Patrick now. He quickly becomes an NBA star for the New York Knicks. Named 1985-86 Rookie of the Year, he blocks shot after shot with his giant leaps. It's almost impossible to get by him when he's guarding the basket. The Knicks build their team around Patrick. It's a smart move by 1989. He's one of the NBA's top scorers. His turnaround jumper nearly always goes in. Teammates nickname him Boomer because of his one-handed dunks. Where else have we been hearing the nickname Boomer recently? That's funny. Patrick is ferocious on the floor. Opponents call him the Beast of the East. He's been known to slam the ball in the basket and shout, "I'm a madman." Oh, here, I'm going to pause for a second. If you guys are able to see, that's my dog, Bella. Say hi, Bella. Hi. She needs to go outside, so I'm going to let her out real quick. You need to go outside? Yeah, you want to go outside and go potty? Ugh. All right, let me finish this story. Okay, so he's been known to slam the ball in the basket and shout, "I'm a madman." Off the court, he loves to laugh and joke with teammates, but fans rarely see that side of him. A private man, he hardly talks to reporters and never signs autographs. So that's him probably making a pretty crazy dunk. Cool illustration there. He lets his achievements speak for themselves. After all, Patrick's one of only 19 players to score over 21,000 career points. An All-Star 11 times, he's been voted one of the 50 greatest NBA players ever. It's hard to believe that there was a time he hadn't even heard of the game. So I think this is an actual picture of Patrick Ewing when he was playing. He was a big dude. So yeah, Hoop Heroes. So that was about Patrick Ewing. I think it's a cool story to read about how he became a basketball player because, like, if you remember, he was from Jamaica, so he had never heard of the sport before. And so he tried it, it was terrible, but then he started practicing and he got better and he got better, and then he became this really good basketball player. However, did that help stop the other obstacles he had to face? Did life get easy after he got good at basketball? No. He then had to deal with fans and players from other teams that were just cruel. I mean, they just said awful things about him. It talked about in school, like he struggled with reading, and so he had to work hard to not fall behind and do better in school. He had to learn how to ignore the taunts and the jeers and the mean things that other people were saying about him or at him while he was playing basketball. So he had to overcome a lot to become the really great, legendary NBA star that he became. So I just think it's a cool story for all you guys out there, whether or not you are wanting to become a basketball star. There's always going to be different obstacles in life that are trying to slow you down, whether it's needing to do better in school or needing to practice harder in a sport, whether it's just making the right friends and sticking to it. I mean, we're all going through this obstacle right now of the coronavirus, and it's like trying to not let that bring us down is tough. And so I gotta let my dog in, so I'm gonna have to sign off quick. So yeah, that's my encouragement to you guys. Even though this is a hard time, just keep working hard, keep working at it. Get those assignments done for today. Do some exact path. If you haven't finished read work yet, get that done. If you haven't finished the Scholastic News writing assignments, get those done. And then check out Flipgrid. Then I'll let you know when we have some assignments coming out next week. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.